Lantern control can win you games if you play it well, but make one small mistake and it will compound into a punishment harder than any other deck can dish out. I'm on the play here in match 1 versus Thattaman, huh? Thattaman. I can't keep this. Look, this is 5 lands. I don't have a Millrock to pair with this Lantern of Insight. If I did, then I would probably keep it. This is much better. I'm going to keep this one, and I will actually bottom the Mox Opal. Mox Opal is normally very good in artifact decks, but this particular artifact deck doesn't actually play a lot of artifacts. All right, let's lead on an Inquisition of Kozilek, and it looks like the hero is on Prowess here. How do I want to handle this? I could take their creature and then bolt their other creature. I could take their Preordain, get hit by this Monastery Swiftspear, and then just have to deal with another creature. I kind of want to slow them down. So I think I am actually going to take Monastery Swiftspear out of this hand. Like, there might be situations in which it is correct to take something else, like the Preordain. Oh, there we go. Yep, that's pretty good. All right, so I will... Yeah, drawing that second discard spell was really nice. Let's just go ahead and bolt this Dragon's Rage Channeler. This is going to buy me a ton of time. And this Profane Tutor, I will be able to suspend that next turn. That will allow me to find an Ensnaring Bridge and shut off creature combat here. This Torpor Orb in my hand is unfortunately a little bit dead. Here we go, Monastery Swiftspear. So all of that work is kind of for naught. Just go ahead and suspend the Profane Tutor now. The hero's got double Lava Dart in hand, which is a little bit worrisome for me. That can be a lot of damage very quickly. The Lava Darts themselves are 4 damage, but each one is also an additional 4 with this Monastery Swiftspear. So I could be taking 9 damage right now if they really wanted to. And it looks like at the very least, they're going to be firing off the first half of one of the Lava Darts. I need to draw a land at some point. Oh, I found Ensnaring Bridge. This is very interesting. So Ensnaring Bridge shuts off combat, makes it so the creatures can't attack, but its power is dependent on how many cards I have in my hand. So if I have too many cards in hand, this Monastery Swiftspear is just going to wreck my day. So how do I play around this? If I land Torpor Orb right now, then I could next turn use Profane Tutor to grab a land and get up to 3 lands to cast this Ensnaring Bridge. At that point, I would have Inquisition of Kozilek, Ensnaring Bridge, land, my draw for turn. So I'd have 4 cards in hand. I'd be able to play land and Ensnaring Bridge for sure. That would put me down to 2 cards in hand. Or I could Inquisition myself, take the Torpor Orb out of my own hand, only have Ensnaring Bridge in hand. Profane Tutor would have to grab a land, and then there is a very, very high chance that I'm just going to be stuck with a card in hand. This Ensnaring Bridge was actually kind of bad. I really wish that it was basically anything else, preferably a land. Torpor Orb is completely dead in this matchup. The only use that it would have was to allow me to turn on a Mox Opal. But I can't responsibly grab Mox Opal. I'm not sure. The hero also has an unknown card in hand. Now, it's not super likely that they have a counterspell. I think I need to get my hand as low as possible. I'm going to Inquisition myself. I don't know if this is correct or not. And I accidentally tapped my mountain or my red land to do that. So I'm going to have to let that go. And now the hero just kind of gets a clear runway to do as much damage as possible to me as quickly as possible. They left the card on top of their deck. I really don't like that. If it's a 3rd Swiftspear, there's a good chance that I'm just dead here. Oh, it's even worse. It's a Slick Shot Show Off. Mutagenic Growth. I think I am just dead, and I think it didn't matter what I did. Because they're going to have Lava Dart in hand, and then they'll have double Lava Dart out of the graveyard. That's going to put me to 12. This Swiftspear is going to be attacking for 7. This one's going to be attacking for 9. So that is going to put me to -2. Yeah, it's entirely possible that I should have taken the Lava Dart with Inquisition of Kozilek there. Oh, -4. But I guess it didn't really matter. Oh, geez. Well, that is what happens when you were playing against Prowess sometimes. They just draw really good cards, and they hit you for a lot. That's what their deck is designed to do, and the hero did their best to keep Lava Darts in hand and in graveyard where they weren't cast, so that they could potentially high roll a Slickshot Show-Off or another Prowess creature and just deal a bunch of damage to me. So well played on their part. I do not know if there is a better way that I could have handled that, to be completely honest. I'm not sure that I could have done that better. I am taking Torpor Orb out of the deck. Torpor Orb does literally stone cold nothing against them. I might replace it with Duress. Pithing Needle is also completely dead, and I'm going to replace that with the Meathook Massacre. So the Meathook Massacre isn't great, but it is probably marginally better than Pithing Needle. Although a lot of their stuff has 2 toughness, so this is at best like a turn 4 board wipe. Oh, you know what, Yuki? Soulless Jailer is a good point. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile, and it has a nice big butt. I am going to be bringing that in over the Meathook Massacre. This is at least a blocker. I will go ahead and do that. The Meathook Massacre is just not particularly good in this matchup. This hand looks extremely tempting, but what happens if the hero has 2 creatures in their hand? Like, this is just unworkable. I don't have any lock. I don't have any Ensnaring Bridge. I'm going to mulligan this. This is much better. Much better. This Underworld Cookbook is going to help me gain quite a bit of life. I don't think I can keep the Mox Opal. Mox Opal would require me to discard something to the Underworld Cookbook in order to turn it on. And I don't think that that is something that I can responsibly do with this hand. So instead, I will lead on an Inquisition of Kozilek. That's a really good hand to keep. That's disgusting. I mean, I guess I take the Expressive Iteration, one of them, but that is a really gross hand. Expressive Iteration is pretty good against me because it can look at the top 3 cards of their deck, and I can only manipulate the topmost card. And of course, the hero has surveilled the top here. They get to see what I'm drawing. I would love a land. Lantern of Insight is okay, but I need to really be responsible, and I need to suspend Profane Tutor here. It's entirely possible that the hero did surveil this Quarry Steelcutter to top, or maybe this land to fetch this mountain. Mishra's Bauble is out of their hand. Oh, they don't have a follow-up spell. So not a follow-up Mishra's Bauble, which is really good for me, I suppose. Profane Tutor is still on suspend here. That is a Thoughtseize. So I could Thoughtseize the hero here, take that Expressive Iteration, and then play out this Underworld Cookbook. And then next turn, I will have the ability to play out this Ensnaring Bridge. It might require me to discard my Lantern of Insight on the hero's end step here, because I would... Oh, that's great. That was their draw for turn, Thundering Falls. Fantastic, I love that. So I would discard the Lantern of Insight now. Profane Tutor would go fetch Urza Saga. I would discard whatever I draw for turn also to the Underworld Cookbook. I would cast Ensnaring Bridge, and then I would be hellbent. And then I could start gaining life after that. I think I'm going to have to take that line. It's not a particularly comfortable line. I would rather have Lantern sooner than later, of course. But this Urza Saga will eventually also represent a Lantern of Insight, so that's okay. Yeah, Ensnaring Bridge number 2. Actually, I kind of like that. Especially since the Dragon's Rage Channelers can't attack now because they made themselves too big. Yeah, if they're just going to move to combat with this Monastery Swift Sphere, I am just going to discard Ensnaring Bridge. I don't want to be taking any more damage. Hero's officially out of cards. I am going to need to fade a couple of draws. And they give it up. They don't want to play anymore. So that was just as simple as finding the line. I needed to get the Ensnaring Bridge lowered as quickly as possible. This Underworld Cookbook dumped cards out of my hand, made these food tokens so that I could gain life in the future. I kept myself at a high enough life total to where their start wasn't really able to get me down low enough. And frankly, all of that discard was very helpful too. Being able to discard their 2 Expressive Iterations made it so that they kind of just didn't really have much going on. Yeah, that was a really fast game. Let's see if we can make the next one fast as well. I think that I am comfortable with this sideboard plan, so I am just going to run it back. Having 11 discard spells in this list is just an insane density of discard. But it's helpful. This is a keep. I am definitely for sure keeping this hand. I've got Ensnaring Bridge in hand already. Soulless Jailer will help with blocking. Hero's mulling to 6 here, which means that this Inquisition is going to be just a little bit more useful. Turn 1 Swifty. Let's go. Paired with the Mishra's Bauble, huh? Well, they activated Mishra's Bauble immediately, and they targeted themselves, which is actually kind of the worst possible way to use that card. Like, you really should have been targeting me, and you should have done it on my upkeep. Because now, I can Inquisition you, and I can see the card that you drew off of Mishra's Bauble. And I am actually going to take this Slickshot Show-Off, and I'm going to leave them with Scalding Tarn, Mishra's Bauble, and Consign. Consign to Memory is just a free counterspell for all of my colorless cards, but I think that's fine. Yeah, they're just using these Mishra's Baubles to try and push a little bit of damage here. Once again, targeting themselves. You don't need to activate Mishra's Bauble right away, friend. They wanted the card, maybe? They're not shuffling right away. They might shuffle here, though, and that'll determine if they want the card or not. They did want the card. All right, well, I am going to Inquisition you again. That is Meltdown and double Consign to Memory. That is a lot of hate. Well, I have to take the Meltdown here, and I am going to drop a Pyxis of Pandemonium. Let's see if this gets consigned. It didn't. All right, the hero is fetching a Surveil land. They'll get to select the card that is left on top of their deck. They kept it on top, so I am going to activate the Pyxis, and I'm going to make them put that top card into exile face down. I just took a little bit of damage. I'm not that worried about it. I am going to now drop this Soulless Jailer. Maybe this will get consigned, maybe it won't. If this doesn't get consigned, then it buys me quite a bit of time. But it looks like the hero is being smart here, and they are waiting to use their consign on a higher value target like this Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, they only have one card in hand. I am gonna block. The card that would blow me out here is like a Lightning Bolt, or I guess a Mutagenic Growth would also work. But, you know, Soulless Jailer did its job. It saved me a little bit of life. I need to find some sort of out here. So I'm going to use this Bloodstained Mire. I'm going to fetch basic Swamp, and I will just be activating this Fomori Vault, trying to find some action. These double Consign to Memories do need to be worked through, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Oh my god, they just top-decked Meltdown? Yeah. Well, that sucks, but I will eventually be able to work through that. I used Fomori Vault while I could, but frankly, they've got double Consign to Memory open, and that's going to hurt a lot. This Monastery Swiftspear is doing a ton of work right now. Oh, I could just Lightning Bolt it. I am going to see if they counter this Lantern of Insight first. They didn't. Now what? Do I let them have this Dragon's Rage Channeler, or do I sacrifice Lantern? I don't think I sacrifice Lantern. I think I let them have the Channeler. Just gonna go ahead and bolt this Swiftspear while I can. I guess I probably should have bolted the Channeler, honestly. Didn't realize that Channeler was gonna be a 3/3 here. That is a lot of damage coming through. Yeah, I should have definitely bolted the Channeler. But that is an Urza Saga on top of my deck. Do I want to cycle this Profane Tutor into Urza Saga? I don't think so. I think I want to suspend this now. Really wishing that I had not bolted the Monastery Swiftspear there. That was definitely a bad call. It's entirely possible that I should have held the Fomori Vault, or held the Urza Saga to cycle it into Thoughtseize. I'm not sure about that, though. Drawing Spell Pierce. Do I want them having a Slitshot Show-Off? I do, actually. I want them having that. If they cast Slickshot Show-Off here, then they have to tap out of at least one blue source. If they do that, then this Profane Tutor on Suspend can simply grab an Inquisition or something, or a bait spell of some sort, and handle it. But honestly, with how much trouble they're giving me with this Dragon's Rage Channeler, I might just sidestep that entirely and grab a Lightning Bolt and kill this Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, they are consigning this. That's one Consign to Memory down, leaving a Consign to Memory on top of their deck. I've got Thoughtseize in hand. I don't know if we can get them with the Thoughtseize, because if they simply just choose to not counter Thoughtseize with Spell Pierce, then I can't land Ensnaring Bridge. If Thoughtseize was Inquisition of Kozilek, then I would be okay-ish. Geez, I'm really regretting not bolting the Dragon's Rage Channeler. I really should have just bolted it. I would much rather have a Monastery Swift Spear in play right now. I think I need my opponent to make a mistake. I need them to make a mistake. I need them to counter this Thoughtseize with Spell Pierce. And they didn't. Okay, so what does that mean? That means I'm just dead on the crackback? The Slickshot Show-Off, of course, has flying. Yeah, I'm just going to concede the game. This came down to me not bolting Dragon's Rage Channeler. And this is what I mean when I say that Lantern requires you to make perfect decisions. All they had to do here was just hold open their counter magic, and all I had to do was bolt this Dragon's Rage Channeler. I would have been able to work through this if I had just done that. I could have shuffled their deck here and hoped that they drew something else. I could have landed Ensnaring Bridge next turn through Spell Pierce, but I needed time to do that. Dragon's Rage Channeler did not give me that time. Monastery Swift Sphere would have, but I just was like, okay, I gotta bolt this Swift Sphere because it was on board and I didn't hold my bolt. I really should have held bolt. Ugh, it's annoying that I had to start this league with a misplay, but that does happen sometimes. Everyone makes misplays. Let's move on to match 2 and try to do this one a little bit better. If you're enjoying the video and think you'd like watching more of what I make, please consider subscribing so YouTube can notify you when I go live and upload videos. I appreciate your support. Thank you. I'm on the play here in match 2 versus iSynova with a hand that has 3 colorless mana sources. I cannot keep this. I can't cast 3 of the cards in my hand. I can keep this, and I will. I am going to bottom the Pithing Needle and hope that that was a good decision. I can get Pithing Needle off Urza Saga if I really need to. All right, Blackcleave Cliffs, Thoughtseize you. Should have kept the Pithing Needle, but I think that's okay. I'm going to take the Karn the Great Creator out of this disgusting hand. The hero's just dropping an Eldrazi Temple. That's fine. Oh, I found another Thoughtseize. I don't know if I want to be firing that off quite yet. I think I'm just going to go Saga into Torpor Orb. I know Torpor Orb isn't the most high impact card in this matchup, but, you know, it's getting it out of my hand, building up artifact count for my little constructs here. That's just a Talisman of Resilience. The hero does have Dismember, which makes me less inclined to attack with constructs, but it's also not, like, impossible, you know? I think I am just going to go Construct Beatdown here. I have Lightning Bolt. I think I'll be okay. I Thoughtseize that Karn the Great Creator, and they don't have another spell to cast, or another land, so that is fantastic. Yeah, like, I know you're going to Dismember this. That's fine. I'm just going to create another construct. And I think here I am actually going to grab Lantern of Insight. I'm not that concerned about Ugin Eye of the Storms quite yet. Playing Urza Saga number 2, I am just going to try and beat them into the ground. They've got a couple of unknown cards here. And by a couple, I mean a lot. But I'm going to be Thoughtseizing them next turn and taking some of those. All right, so Ugin Eye of the Storms is underneath of Ugin's Labyrinth now. Just going to drop this mountain. I'm going to Thoughtseize them again. That is double Karn the Great Creator. Let me think about this. The hero could go Kozilek's Command for X equals 1, 2, 3, 4. That would give them enough mana to cast Karn the Great Creator, but it would mean they don't have a chump blocker for it. So they would -2 Karn, get something, and then Karn would just die, even with this Kozilek's Command being cast, even if they exile my creature with it. Honestly, I would rather them cast Thought-Knot Seer, so I think I am going to take one of the spare Karns, and I'm still deciding on whether or not I want them to have this Kozilek's Command or not. I think I am just going to make the construct. This will put them to 13, and this means that it doesn't actually matter if they exile one of my constructs with Kozilek's Command. Like, they're still going to be... either Karn will die, or they won't be able to, you know, really do anything about it. I think I am going to let them have Kozilek's Command, as scary as that is in this situation. But a decent part of playing Lantern Control is that you have to be able to play your hero's deck for you. Like, yeah, the hero could just Kozilek's Command, I guess, make a bunch of spawns, draw a card if they really wanted to. But if they did that, then I would be able to counter by just chewing through the spawns. And it looks like they are Kozilek's commanding here. They are just making spawns, drawing a card. Okay, so that means I will be able to see what they draw. Making 4 spawns. They drew an Urza's Mine. Left Expedition map on top of their deck. Urza's Mine does not yet tap for 2 mana. So this means that they cannot put 2 blockers in front of my constructs. If they want to cast Karn here, then they have to sacrifice 3 spawns. And they're just passing. I am going to create another construct here. But what am I going to fetch off of this Urza's Saga trigger here? The hero scryed 2 top, 2 bottom with the Kozilek's command. That means that the card underneath this expedition map has been unseen by both players. I think I am just going to grab, honestly, Codex Shredder. I am going to swing with my 2 constructs here. If the hero does not block, which they might not because they want to conserve their mana. Okay, they did just choose to block here. Then I think that is actually fine. I'm going to play this for Mori Vaults. But if they didn't block, then I would just bolt them and they'd be dead. So that would be okay by me too. I think I'm going to suspend Profane Tutor. Like, they're going to be able to land Karn here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even if they do land Karn and they put a Thought-Knot Seer into play to protect it, I think I'm okay with that, actually. Do I want them drawing this expedition map? They would tap 1, 2, 3. That would let them grab the power plant, and they would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 off of power plant. They'd be able to cast their entire hand. Would they grab anything else with expedition map? I don't think so. I have a lightning bolt in hand. I specifically chose lightning bolt as my removal because I know that it would kill a Karn the Great Creator that -2s, and they usually do -2 on Karn. I grabbed a Codex Shredder. I really wish I hadn't, because now this World Breaker is going to be a problem. If I had just grabbed Pyxis of Pandemonium like I should have done, then I would have been okay. Yeah, this Karn is -2ing here. They grabbed an Engineered Explosives. They're going to be cleaning up my constructs. That is fine. I really wish I had just grabbed Pyxis of Pandemonium. I was just grabbing Codex Shredder because I'm just like, you know, people like Codex Shredder. Ugh, man. But yeah, there's just random stuff in decks like this that you need to handle. At least I have Profane Tutor on suspend. And yeah, typically you are right, Mad Trapper. Like, typically I'm going to want to grab Pyxis over Shredder. I just wanted to try out Shredder this time, but I really should not have done that. I need to think here. Do I kill this Karn the Great Creator right now? I think I am going to kill it right now just because it's free to do. Geez, I'm just not sure. I think I kind of have to just let the World Breaker go. Let them draw it. If I had Pyxis of Pandemonium right now, then I would not be concerned in the slightest. I guess I would be a little bit concerned because there's a Kozilek's command underneath of it. Oh, they're just casting World Breaker now, and they're hitting Codex Shredder? No way. Come on. All right, well, if I punt it to you, you can punt it right back to me, I suppose. So now, yeah, they're going to cast this Thought-Knot Seer. Now, I still have problems. I have Ugin Eye of the Storms that is underneath of this. That will eventually become a really big problem that I need to answer. I have ways to answer it. They're not particularly comfortable ways, but I can do it. Now, here's a good question for you. Do I grab Urza's Saga here? I would take a hit from these creatures for 9. I would fall to 7. Turn after that, I would be able to make probably a 4/4 construct. I think that's a bit risky. I think instead I am going to just grab Ensnaring Bridge. I don't want that Grafdigger's Cage, so I am going to fetch on my upkeep as well. Underworld Cookbook is not great. Actually going to keep that in hand. I'm going to discard this to Fomori Vault here in a little bit. Yeah, here they go. Ugin Eye of the Storms is now becoming a problem. I am going to have to find actual removal for this. That's probably going to be in the form of Pithing Needle. I'm going to actually draw this Inquisition here. And I will pitch the Inquisition. Look at the top 3 cards of my deck. Hope to find a Pithing Needle. I didn't. Instead, I found a Mycosynth Gardens. Okay, Vexing Bauble is their draw for turn. Gain 3 life, draw a card. So they get a Talisman of Resilience as well. It's almost certainly incorrect for them to hit anything other than this Fomori Vault with what they've got in hand, the Sowing Mycospawn. And we are kind of seeing the effects of how one decision can really spiral out a game. Yeah, that's the Fomori Vault gone. I grabbed Codex Shredder instead of Pyxis of Pandemonium, and that allowed this Worldbreaker to get through. Worldbreaker getting through took my Mill Rock, which was my only way to interact with these draws, and I haven't been able to find a way to answer this Ugin Eye of the Storms because of it. I am going to create a copy of Lantern of Insight using the Sowing Mycospawn here, and I'm going to have to shuffle my deck. Blightstep Pathway is not good enough. I'm going to shuffle my deck again, and that's another Codex Shredder. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play out my stuff, and I'm going to F6. I'm going to let them figure it out. They can probably just Ultimate Ugin here, go grab Karn -2, go grab Extinguisher Battleship, blow up my Ensnaring Bridge, swing for very close to lethal here. Or they can just grab Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger out of their deck. Yeah, all right. All right. I can see. That was good enough. Yeah, they just found so much stuff off of that. It just wasn't even... There was no point. There was no point in continuing there. Made one bad decision, and it just compounded. Being able to keep my Pyxis would have helped so much. But that's all right. Let's go ahead and sideboard, see if we can play this a little bit better this time, eh? Do I want Blood Moons against this deck? I think I kind of do. I certainly don't want Pyroclasms or Torpor Orbs. So those can go, and I think I will actually bring Blood Moons in over that. Grafdigger's Cage can go. The Underworld Cookbook can go. And honestly, Lightning Bolt can also go. And I will bring in Molten Collapse and 2 additional Duress. And honestly, I think I could probably cut a single Inquisition of Kozilek. Inquisition isn't dead, but Pithing Needle is better. Yeah, I think I am going to do this. So, siding out 9 cards, actually. That's a lot of cards. And then siding in these 9. Now, Blood Moon is not going to solve all of my problems, but it will help out quite a bit. It makes Kozilek's command more or less uncastable. Or I can just draw 0 lands. You know, that's just a thing that can happen. All right, I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to bottom the Swamp. The hero is keeping 7 here. Let's see what they are. Oh, that is a Stone Brain, huh? That can be popped on turn 3. I think I might have to let that go. Karn the Great Creator is just too big of a problem. There's a good chance that I actually... Oh, well, I just top-decked an Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, so that's fine. So they might go for Lantern of Insight now with that Stone Brain. Okay, yeah, I thought they weren't going to cast it for a second, but no, that's just clearly not correct to do. I found second Urza Saga, and I am just going to let them do this. I think right now my plan is Urza Saga, so I am going to just activate this and see what they choose. They named Break the Ice, which is a card that I do not play in my 75. I don't even consider playing Break the Ice. So this Stone Brain was just dead. All right, yeah. They just spent 2 turns and 4 mana doing literally nothing, except exiling a card from their hand, I guess. Yeah, that's a Kozilek's command. Cycling and exiling my creature. That is fine by me. I am now going to land Thoughtseize, Lantern, and Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, I have so many sagas. I don't think I need to be making constructs here. Lantern of Insight. They really should have just chosen Lantern of Insight, honestly. I'm not sure why they didn't. Yeah. I think it's the Kozilek's command out of this hand. I can handle everything else eventually. Do I land Ensnaring Bridge, or do I just let Urza Saga take care of it for me? I'm at a fairly high life total, right? Like, one of these sagas can create a 3/3 construct fairly easily. That can turn into a 5/5 construct the turn after next. I think I just land Urza Saga, put Pyxis into play, and then just make constructs and overwhelm my opponent that way. Yeah, I know that they'll steal Ensnaring Bridge with Thought-Knot Seer. I don't think that it's really that relevant. I think I can survive that. And if they just hit me with a Sowing Mycospawn here, then I will just land Ensnaring Bridge, and that's fine. Maybe I should have tapped Pyxis there, but I think it's okay. Ooh, a Pithing Needle on top of my deck. That's exactly where I want to see that, actually. Now I am going to land Ensnaring Bridge, because I think that they're going to Sowing Mycospawn me. Okay, Ugin's Labyrinth is coming down. They didn't pitch anything to it, though. Oh, they are going to try and get Ugin Eye of the Storms into play right now. That's fine. Yeah, I'm glad I went the Ensnaring Bridge route. Just going to go ahead and plop that down on Ugin here. And this game's over. Ensnaring Bridge is holding back all of their creatures. They get to exile as many permanents with colors as they want. All my stuff is colorless. It doesn't matter. Now I just need to focus. Burn through their entire deck. My client is lagging quite a bit. This happens a lot, actually. And I'm running out of time on clock, so I'm going to have to get that sorted. I will aggressively mill them a little more than I would normally, just because I do need to work through this clock. I'm going to have to let them have this expedition map. I just don't want to take the risk. They could grab a Sanctum of Ugin off of this. If that happens, then I need to keep them off of creatures with... Oh, they just had Beseiju in their deck? All right, yeah. Ugh, that was a misplay. Oh, they blew up Pithing Needle? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I don't know why you blew up Pithing Needle. Just blow up Ensnaring Bridge and swing for lethal. This gives me an out now? Like that? Yeah, I genuinely don't know why you didn't just blow up Ensnaring Bridge. I guess they didn't want their free win. That's fine. Lots of punts this game. So many punts. Oh, it's so painful clicking through all of these prompts. It just takes so much time. The client is lagging so hard. Yeah, I don't actually care about Cityscape Leveler in the graveyard. Unearth doesn't work the way that they would want it to. They can unearth Cityscape Leveler as much as they want, but it doesn't actually count as a cast. Oh my god, I'm clicking on things and it's just nothing. Oh, jeez. Nothing's happening. If I lose this match to a timeout, that's going to be extremely frustrating. All right, I'm majorly focusing here. The hero's going to get one more draw this game, and I need to make sure that it's a good one. And by a good one, I mean a bad one. It's unfortunate that I had to mill them out this game, because I really would have liked to aggro them out instead. But I didn't have the luxury of doing that. All right, and now we F6 for the rest of the game. Oh, that was a bit close. I'm going to restart my client. Okay, I was able to restart Magic Online. I'm going to have to play extraordinarily quickly. This hand is a keep. It's not a great hand, but I'm going to have to make do. Especially with that duress. That's really good. Okay, can they Karn me on turn 2? No. I am going to take Kozilek's Command from this hand. Karn the Great Creator is fine. It's going to have to be fine. They're going to get Tron, so Devourer of Destiny is coming down. Thought Not Seer, Ugin Labyrinth, Devourer. Okay. I am going to cast this Mox Opal just in case. Forest. All right, I'll make that work. Power is down. That's Thought Not Seer. My hand's terrible. It doesn't matter. Devourer of Destiny, Forest, huh? Can I afford for them to have this Karn the Great Creator? I think the answer to that is no. Okay, they're just casting Devourer of Destiny. I'll make that work. Okay, and we are going Constructs time. I am going to grab the Underworld Cookbook here, and I am going to Inquisition my opponent again. They've just got Ugin's Labyrinths. All right, I'm going to discard some of these lands, and I'm going to just hold. I am winning on the ground right now. I need to get a little bit lucky. That is not a little bit lucky. If I draw an artifact here, that would be great, but I didn't because I'm just drawing nothing but lands. I don't know if I should be attacking Ugin. I think I kind of have to. That's going to leave me with a 5/5 construct. I'm going to have to draw a card here. It's an Urza Saga. That's great. I like that a lot. And that's just tapping out for an Ulamog, isn't it? No, it's just a giant Kozilek's Command. They're just making spawns. So that is going to gum up the board in a major way. I need to find an answer to this Ugin or else I am dead. And I don't have any consistency or tools with which to do it. It's possible that this was a bad keep. Yeah, definitely a bad keep. This is just going to be an Engineered Explosives, clean up my entire board here. No, they're just going to grab Walking Ballista, sure. Don't know why they would do that. I'm just going to do what I can. Hero says GG easy. I think they're right. I think they're absolutely right. So I'd like to take a moment and think about this for a minute. All the way back in game 1 here, I said to myself, you know, Codex Shredder can manipulate top cards of decks independently, surely it's not going to be that big of a deal. And then the top card of the hero's deck was, of course, a World Breaker. And I couldn't mill World Breaker because if I put World Breaker into the graveyard, then they just get it back with its activated ability and it goes right back to their hand. If I had grabbed Pyxis of Pandemonium there, I would have exiled World Breaker on the spot. They would have had a Kozilek's command on top, but I might have been able to play around that. Because of that one decision, we had to have a game 3. And game 3, I had 3 minutes on my clock, which is not enough time for a Lantern Control deck to win in almost any situation except for extremely aggressive Urza Saga lines. I took an extremely aggressive Urza Saga line, the hero just cleaned it up quite easily, and I had nothing. So this is a really good example of how one bad decision can just compound and compound and compound and compound and cause you to lose games. I might have had that game in the bag, but one bad decision is all it took. Let's move on to match 3, see if I can recover a little bit from that. Has your loss to Lantern Control left you bitter and despondent? Work through your grief with a membership to Faithseal MTG on YouTube or Patreon. Reach bargaining or higher to gain access to my detailed lesson videos on how to play Lantern Control. I hope to see you on your path to healing. Okay, let's go ahead and shrug that off. I am on the play here in match 3 versus kePs, and I can't kePs this. No colored mana sources. I am going to kePs this, and I am going to bottom probably Bloodstained Mire since I already have the basic. And I will lead on... Do I lead on Grafdigger's Cage or do I lead on Pyxis? If I top deck a Profane Tutor, then I'd rather have Pyxis in play. But if I really need Grafdigger's Cage, then I can put it into play later. Like, I doubt I'm going to need Grafdigger's Cage on turn 1. Fiery Islet, Moxel, it's Affinity. Come on. Glad I have this Ensnaring Bridge in hand. Okay, so it's just a turn 1 Emery. Yeah, see, I didn't need Grafdigger's Cage in play right away. Ooh, with the Schemed board. Tap my Pyxis. You know what? You can tap my Pyxis. That's fine. Awabunga, my amigos. We've got a skateboard in chat. Well, Grafdigger's Cage. Shut off Emery. May as well just sacrifice Emery now, mate. Got the Claws of Gix in play. Just go do it. Yeah, there's the weapons manufacturing. So Claws of Gix will eventually become a problem. And I am continuing to just draw a lot of lands here. I think I am going to play Bloodstained Mire. They have their own Urza Saga, so I will need to get this Ensnaring Bridge down. Especially with this Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, Ensnaring Bridge needs to come down. And please, can I not draw a land here? Anything but a land, please. Oh, I guess if I was to draw a land and I had to draw a land, I guess Urza Saga would be the land that I would want to draw. Weapons manufacturing is not going to kill me right away. I'm going to grab Lantern of Insight. So they've got 2 cards in hand here. One of them is a Kappa Cannoneer. Yep, that's a lot of Kappa triggers. Ah, last card in hand is Thoughtcast, huh? So they're going to get a Spirebluff Canal and a Pinnacle Emissary. I think I'm okay with that. That's right, you're not attacking with your Emery. Ooh, Sink into Stupor on top of their deck here. Don't particularly like that. Maybe I should have let them have what was on top. Not gonna lie, most of it was just I didn't want to draw that Ensnaring Bridge. Ooh, well, this isn't great. Engineered Explosives is something that I don't actually think I can let them draw. There is a Pithing Needle on top of my deck, though. So let me think this through. Pretty much free to make the construct now, so I'm gonna do that. They have 3 mana with Mox Opal, so they could put Engineered Explosives down on 3, but they couldn't activate it because they don't have enough mana for that. If they went to fetch a Mox Opal off of Urza Saga, then they could. I have to make them shuffle here. Yeah, that tap with Pyxis was just a little bit greedy, wasn't it? One small mistake yet again. Let's see how that impacts me. They've got their own Pithing Needle. That's to be expected. I can't remove this, so I am going to have to find my Codex Shredders here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Yuki. We're going to have to put that Pithing Needle on top of my deck. It's got to go on Claws of Gix. But that leaves the hero with outs. A lot of outs, actually. Sink into Stupor and Engineered Explosives are their outs to this. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and bolt this Pinnacle Emissary now. My outs to this situation are Codex Shredder, exactly, and Profane Tutors that can find Codex Shredder, and Urza Sagas that can find Codex Shredder. I'm going to create my construct because it's free to do. And I think this just has to grab Lantern of Insight, although I'm not sure it should. I could grab Codex Shredder. Lantern is actually more of in my deck than Codex Shredder is. And if I grab Codex Shredder and start going now, then that guarantees that roughly half of their outs are going to be gone. I think I'm going to take the Codex Shredder, and I am going to just cast this Pithing Needle and put it on Claws of Gix. I guess making the construct there wasn't free to do because I wasn't playing around Metallic Rebuke. Hey, it's under the Claws of Gix. That's fantastic. Just have lots more blanks like that in your hand, please. Or top deck a Sink into Stupor immediately and swing for lethal. All right. So once again there, I got a little bit greedy with the tap on that Pyxis, and I think that cost me the game. I think I'm starting to sense a theme. The theme is, for those of you who aren't paying attention, that victory and defeat are one decision away. A single tiny decision can take you off of the straight and narrow and throw you into the chasm of despair. How do I want to sideboard against this deck? Lightning bolts are fine. I'm not particularly attached to them. I'm much more attached to Pithing Needles. Duresses are going to be good at taking cards out of the hero's hand. I think I would want Soul Guide Lantern to fight against Emery specifically. And honestly, Molten Collapse can remove 1-drops. That would be additional outs for me in a top deck situation like that, where I could remove the Pithing Needle. So I am going to side like this. I'm going to keep this hand. 1 Pyxis tap, that's all it took. They're just holding open Spirebluff Canal. What could this mean? Consigned to memory, I guess? Well, I'm just going to play Urza Saga here. They've got their own Urza Saga. Still nothing, though. Well, you have to tap your blue mana for something at some point, right? Still nothing. Yeah, I'm not playing into this obvious counter magic. Come on. All right, well, I am continuing to draw like garbage. The hero is not tapping out of this Urza Saga. They've got diamond hands on their counter spells here. Do I grab Pithing Needle and put it on Urza Saga? That's insane, right? Like, I just play this Lantern of Insight, right? I just grab this, and then I put the Swamp into play, and then I cast Pithing Needle? Yeah, they just let that go. Urza Saga, man. Take 5. You're just gonna Sink into Stupor my construct? I will accept. I will accept the heck out of that. Interesting. I have a Pyxis in play. I have a Pyxis in my hand. I have a Pyxis on top of my deck. I am going to exile here. They grabbed Mox Opal. Oh, with another Urza Saga, huh? If they've got a Kappa Cannon here, they could get this down just barely. Now it's a little better than just barely, I think. Yeah, Welding Jar is out of hand. Yeah, this is actually good enough to hold open Consign to Memory, except they're tapping out of all of their blue sources for some reason. Do they have another Mox Opal in hand or something? I don't really understand what's going on that side of the table. Do I want the Thoughtseize? I'm not convinced I want the Thoughtseize. I'm not convinced I don't want it. I am going to just land this Ensnaring Bridge, and I'm going to hold open this Bloodstained Mire Fetch, I think. Yeah, I'm going to hold open the Bloodstained Mire Fetch. This Pinnacle Emissary can attack underneath Ensnaring Bridge, but I think that's okay, because I have this construct that can block. Okay, here comes Kappa Cannoneer. So they've got 1 unknown card in hand. I kind of want to check that card just to see, because if they got like another Sink into Stupor, then I'm just in real trouble here. And I can empty my hand down to just 1 card in hand, which is good enough. Like, I'm still going to take a decent chunk of damage, but I think it's okay. Probably going to fall to 10 here in the near future. Well, there was just a Duress on top of my deck anyway, and it was Sink into Stupor. That's why we do this. That is exactly why we do this. All right, I don't want this Duress. The hero does not have a way to draw cards. Ooh, but I do want this Molten Collapse. Yes, please. Remember when I was talking about outs to the Pithing Needle on the hero side of the table? Molten Collapse. That's why I put it in the deck, for these exact sorts of situations. I can no longer allow them to draw additional copies of Urza Saga. But honestly, I think that's fine. I'm just going to make this Mycosynth Gardens into a copy of Pyxis. And then, like, I kind of hate to do this to you, friend, but Molten Collapse. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. I'm going to target your Pithing Needle. And they didn't even use Welding Jar to regenerate it. So punt on the opponent's side there. I would have had to use this Profane Tutor to find another Molten Collapse. Which, I mean, I would have done it. But still. Consign to Memory is okay, actually. I don't mind Consign to Memory at this point. All right, the game's over. I am going to start milling a little bit aggressively. Not super aggressively. I'm only going to tap out a 2 mill rocks, not all 3. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead and Galvanic Blast my face. Let's see if it makes a difference. Don't want you having a Mishra's Bauble. Weapons Manufacturing. I'm going to take it. It's not really that important. But I'd rather just not worry about it, you know? Don't want you having cantrips. Fiery Island can go. Skateboard. You can tap something down. Yeah, whatever. I don't even remember what you have in your hand. It doesn't matter. I've been keeping good track of it. You want to tap one of my pick sides? Go right ahead. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Yeah, tap it. Emery is Bad News Bears. I don't want you having that. So I haven't let my opponent have a Claws of Gix this entire time. I think I am going to just duress them and let them have the weapons manufacturing, because I don't want to be stuck in a really awkward spot where, like, if they had just like a bunch of outs underneath this or something and I would have had to take care of all of them. Tormod's Crypt is fine. Now note that our library sizes are identical right now, but the hero is going to draw first. So I will be winning this game with an empty library. They don't have any sacrifice outlets for these munitions, so I'm just going to have to make sure to keep them off of them. Like that Engineered Explosives, exile that, please. Mishra's Bauble, exile that. Okay, that's fine. I wish every Magic game went like this. It's just so nice to be able to just chill at the end of a stressful game, you know? Use your brain a little bit, not that much. Yeah, just cast the cards in your hand. Nothing matters. I think I am actually going to activate this Fomori Vault here. And I'm going to spin into this Codex Shredder. Then I'm going to cast Codex Shredder. This puts me at 1 card less in library, but that's not actually that big of a deal. I'm more worried about them just having super numbers of runners in the top card of their deck right now. But they saw the writing on the wall. All right. Found the line. The hero just spent the first 3 turns kind of just doing nothing and holding open Consign to Memory and Sink into Stupor and whatever. And I didn't care. I didn't care. No sideboarding necessary. Deck's perfect. Do I want to keep this? I think I will keep this. Molten Collapse in hand isn't fantastic. I guess let's just hope that they don't have a particularly good starter. But they kept 7, so they probably do. Yeah, you need 1 more 0 to do the Kappa Cannoneer thing here, mate. But not 1 more 0 to cast Thoughtcast. You've got another Mox Opal, that would be good, but they didn't. Okay, so I will actually lead on Inquisition of Kozilek here. And they have the Kappa Cannoneer. They will be able to cast that next turn. Fortunately, I have the Ensnaring Bridge, but I desperately need a land that I can use to cast that. Pithing Needle is fine, I guess. Got my tutors on suspend here. Oh, good. They're just tapping out for a Pinnacle Emissary. Found an island, and then Mishra's Bauble was their last unknown card. All right, so I need a land right now. If this card is not a land, then I'm dead. And it has to be a land, not a Mox Opal. Mox Opal won't work. I just said, did I not just say that Mox Opal won't work? If I had spent my turn 2 casting Lantern Pithing Needle, then it would have been fine. So maybe that was my own mistake. But they just came out of the gates way too fast. The hand was a bit too clunky, unfortunately. So it was possible that I should have mulled here. It's possible that I just needed to fade turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer. Molten Collapse was good last game, not so good this game. But maybe I should have been playing around top decking exactly Mox Opal. And I should have put Lantern and then Pithing Needle down on something. Maybe Fiery Islet? I'm not sure. Oh, but that was really rough. Let's go ahead and move on to match 4. All right, I'm on the play in match 4 here versus WolfpackGis. This hand has the lock in it. Ugh. Double Torpor Orb is nasty. This could really hose the right deck. If I was playing against energy, I might keep this. It's just, I don't know. Double Torpor Orb is pretty weak. I have the lock, but I don't have anything else. I don't have any discard. I don't even have an Urza Saga. I think I have to mulligan this. This is a much better hand. I'm going to keep this. I will bottom the Inquisition out of this hand, and I'm going to keep Thoughtseize, because Thoughtseize is more general, although that does mean starting the game at 16 life, unfortunately. Like, if I'm against an aggressive deck, then the Profane Tutor will find me an Ensnaring Bridge, and I should be okay. Just the one of Blood Crypt just really sucks here. Don't really want to be shocking in a lot when playing Lantern, but I'm going to do it, because I have to. And I'm playing against this nonsense. So I will simply just leave them with a bunch of removal and nothing to point it at. The hero is bobbling me with their first bobble, which I think is actually correct. Now they know what they're playing against. Honestly, maybe they should have done that before shocking in Steam Vents. Oh, well, I just revealed a mountain. Yeah, I'm not going to be playing that. Unholy Heat. That tells me that they might be on some sort of grinding station combo, maybe? Some sort of Emery deck? I don't know how aggressive they are. I don't know if they're going to have portable holes or not. Thinking to Super suggests no. Oh, I just drew the Lantern. I don't think I need to be playing into their creature removal here. I think I can just cast my Lantern and play into the other 4 cards in their hand that I don't know about. Like Counterspell? Yeah, that's fine. So it seems like they might just be blue-red, like Counterburn, like Artifact Control or something. Not entirely certain what I should be expecting. Wizards, maybe? Perhaps this is Splinter Twin? They saw the card that's on top of my deck. I am going to mill it. Sucks if it's an Ensnaring Bridge. Also sucks if it's an Inquisition of Kozilek. I would have actually liked that. Now I need to decide what this Profane Tutor is going to get. Let's see if it even resolves. It does resolve. Am I just going to get another Thoughtseize here? Start establishing a weak lock? Do I think that they're going to have stuff that is so expensive that I need to be Thoughtseizing it? Can I save a little bit of life? Is that greedy? I think I am going to grab the Thoughtseize. I'm not going to be greedy. Let's see what I draw here. Just Bloodstained Mire, huh? All right, well, that means that I can create the construct because I can fetch basic Swamp off this Bloodstained Mire. And they didn't bite with casting Unholy Heat, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't want that Underworld Cookbook on top of my deck. Okay, now they're bolting the construct. That's fine. Basic Swamp, Thoughtseize. Double Unholy Heat, double Fable of the Mirror Breaker, huh? Well, that's a pretty dang good hand, not gonna lie. Pretty good hand. Gonna have to beat this Fable of the Mirror Breaker now. Well, at least I can mill myself with this Codex Shredder, get rid of this Thoughtseize on top of my deck that I don't want. Found another Codex Shredder, which is actually pretty good. I'm gonna take that. Ooh, and that's Ensnaring Bridge. I like that a lot. I will need to find either removal or a Pithing Needle of some sort to answer the flip side of this Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I don't need to do that quite yet, though. Oh, Spell Snare, I don't think I care about. I guess Pyroclasm is a potential answer to this, but I don't think that they're actually going to keep Spell Snare. Mishra's Bauble is fine. I need to fade the card underneath the Steam Vents. Flare of Denial? It's not exactly a fade, is it? I am going to need to find an answer for that Flare of Denial. And I think it starts with this Ensnaring Bridge, honestly. Ugh. Expressive Iteration on top, huh? Call me crazy, but I actually might just cast this Ensnaring Bridge straight into this Flare of Denial. Like, I might do it. I might do it. I'm going to check to see what the top card of my deck is first. Torpor Orb, huh? That is an answer to the flip side of Fable. Kind of. Really wishing I had a Pyxis. I'd love to be able to get rid of this Lightning Bolt. I think my plan now is just to find a discard spell. I think that's my out. I had one decision point in this game as well. I had to choose whether or not I was going to grab Thoughtseize or Inquisition. I chose to grab the Thoughtseize. Because of that, I don't have an additional 2 life to work with here. I guess that wouldn't have mattered that much, though. Yeah, that's game. That stinks. I didn't fade that draw. All it took was one counterspell. After I fired off A lot of discard, actually. It was a decent chunk of discard. I wonder if I could have played this game any better. I'm not sure. The shredders felt so bad. Just having 2 shredders, that felt terrible. Oh well, let's go ahead and sideboard, see if we can recover from this at all. So against this deck, Torpor Orb might actually be decent. I think Grafdigger's Cage might be bad. Like, Torpor Orb just shuts off Thundertrap Trainer. It shuts off Fable of the Mirror Breaker, making copies of Thundertrap Trainer. I have a sneaking suspicion that they are on Twin. I don't know exactly why. Like, I can't quite put my finger on it. But playing Thundertrap Trainer in a deck that looks like that tells me that they might have other Twin targets. So I think I want the Torpor Orbs. I definitely want these Duresses. Those have to come in. Maybe I don't need 2 Torpor Orbs. I can side out 1. And Pyroclasm was just really good against what I saw, so I'm going to keep that in as well. Lightning Bolt was also really good against what I saw, so I'm going to keep that in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run it back like this. I'm not going to sideboard too heavily. This hand is a little bit sketchy. I don't know if I can keep this. Like, it's got answers to things. I think I am going to keep it. It's got stable mana, which is nice. It's got Lantern, but not a Mill Rock. It's got Bridge, but no way to protect it. It has Pithing Needle and Lightning Bolt, which are honestly the reasons that I kept. Just going to lead on from Worry Vault into Lantern of Insight. If they force this, they force it. Oh, that is a Pyxis on top of my deck. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I actually think I'm going to cast the Underworld Cookbook here. Like, yeah, they're going to have a counter spell. There's not really much I can do about that right now. They can't hold that open forever, right? And I don't have to play into it if I don't want to. Do I want this Mox Opal? Not particularly. Not really in the mood to have Mox Opal on top of my deck here. Would much rather have a discard spell. That's really what I'm looking for. Hero's being very patient. So they drew a Subtlety. I have a Profane Tutor right here. I am just going to suspend that. I'm not playing into anything. Got Lightning Bolt held open, which should be nice against some things. If the hero goes Deceiver, Exarch into Splinter Twin here. Oh, it's just a Flame of Anor? Okay. So that means they're on Wizards. They still could be on Twin. It still could happen. They want the land, huh? Well, they're just bolting my face? Yeah, let's go. That's perfectly fine. Like, do I even need to fire off this Inquisition of Kozilek right now, or can I just hold it? I think I can just hold it. I don't think I need to be doing anything. If they counterspell my Profane Tutor, then I've got Urza Saga on top of my deck. I know half their hand right now. Oh, hey, they finally hit a Consign to Memory. Oh, this is a 5-mana haste creature? What on earth? What the heck is this? The turtle. Yeah, it's a turtle. That's a turtle. That is a turtle. You got it, friend. You got it. You got a turtle. I'm gonna fall to 7 here. But unfortunately, the hero has blinked, and I kind of want to respond. I'm gonna discard this Pithing Needle. I'm going to make a food, and I'm gonna gain some life. 5 toughness is a lot of toughness here. At least the mutant token isn't tapped and attacking. I am just gonna go ahead and bolt the mutant. Casting Profane Tutor. Let's see if this resolves. It does resolve. I'm grabbing Urza Saga, actually. Ooh, Torpor Orb. I think it is more important that I land Ensnaring Bridge in this situation, so I am going to Inquisition first. Counterspell, Counterspell, Thundertrap Trainer, Subtlety, Expressive Iteration, Flare of Denial. I could put the hero in an interesting bind here. I could simply take the Flare of Denial and land Ensnaring Bridge and be done with it. But I could get a little bit tricky. I could instead take the Expressive Iteration. And then when I go to cast my Ensnaring Bridge, they could flare it. And then I could have Urza Saga going, which would be pretty terrible into their face-up Consigned to Memory. So I think I'm not going to get tricky. I'm just going to take the Flare of Denial, and I'm going to slam Ensnaring Bridge. Patience, 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 patience. Oh, they found a Flame of Anor. That's gonna suck. So what does that mean? They have a wizard. I'm going to just draw this Inquisition of Kozilek, and I'm going to see what happens. Are they going to consign the Urza Saga trigger? No. I need to prepare for this slash to get through this Ensnaring Bridge. Inquisition is not enough. I think I'm going to cast Pyxis of Pandemonium here. And if they blink on this, then I can Inquisition them and I can take the Flame of Anor. And if they don't blink on this, then I can create a construct. Gonna have to see what happens. They didn't blink. So I am going to prepare for Flash to attack. It's gonna happen here. I mean, they could have done 2 modes on this Flame of Anor, but they just chose 1 instead. Yep, that's fine. Now I get to trade a token and this Torpor Orb with Slash. I'm gonna fall to 5. This Pyroclasm can clean up their board. Do I actually want this to happen, though? I think it's okay. I don't know, though. I kind of need them to not subtlety something. Like, they could subtlety consign the trigger, counterspell my Pyroclasm. That would win them the game. Do I want to draw Pyroclasm, then? I think I kind of have to. Let's see if they mess up and counter my Urza Saga trigger instead. Can I play around that at all? I can by making a construct. This construct can block the mutant. I would fall to 1, but 1 is not 0. Okay, they are pointing their consign into the wrong place. That's great. That means I don't have to worry about subtlety. I'm just going to go ahead and fire off this Inquisition now. And they let it go. I am going to actually take Expressive Iteration, letting them draw the Mishra's Bauble. They're just firing that off now. That's fair. I actually don't think I need this Pyroclasm anymore. I'm going to turn it into food. Exile with Pyxis first. Don't want them having that Preordain. Swamp's not particularly good for me either. And Mystical Dispute is fine. I am winning this race, but only just barely. Swinging with this construct. And I am going to let this Profane Tutor go. I'm turning it into food. And I think we're finding the line. Underworld Cookbook is going to start gaining me some decent chunks of life. Yeah, that's a subtlety. I'm just going to pop the food now. Let them draw the island. And all I need to do is just outrace them. I've got a small lock into place. Just get rid of that Sink into Stupor. That's fantastic. Like, I don't even have to cast this Codex Shredder. And I'm not going to. I'm going to swing with this construct. They're chumping with Thundertrap Trainer. That's fantastic. That means I actually cannot die, right? Yeah, I'm just going to let it go. I'm at 4. Subtleties attack would put me to 1. And the hero's going to die with 3 counterspells in hand. Yeah, they're going to die with 3 counterspells in hand. And they conceded. Whoa, that was really close. Finding the line. And that is how you navigate a game with Lantern Control, is by not making mistakes. Just don't make mistakes. Just play perfectly at all times and you'll win games. All you have to do. Now, what else did I see from them this game? I saw a bunch of counterspells. I saw Subtlety, which is okay, I guess. I think I still want the Pyroclasms. And the Torpor Orb was actually pretty decent. I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back like this. I don't think I'm gonna be making any more sideboarding. I didn't see any reason to bring in stuff like Soulless Jailer, Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, this is straight ship to 6. If this Codex Shredder was even a Blood Crypt, I would take it. Even a fetch land, I would take it. But it's not a fetch land. And I can't guarantee that I'm just going to draw fetch land Urza Saga off the top of the deck. So I am just going to ship this. Heroes mulliganing to 6 as well. I'm going to keep this hand. I actually think I'm going to bottom the Fomori Vault. Oh, they're cracking their Mishra's Baubles. They didn't give me an opportunity to just cast Pithing Needle and put it on Mishra's Bauble. I probably would have if they had just let me. But no, they understand how their cards work. This untapped Steam Vents kind of feels like a Consign to Memory to me. Oh, well, that's just the Underworld Cookbook. If I can bait a Consign to Memory using the Underworld Cookbook, then I will. Underworld Cookbook killed them last game, but I doubt it's going to be as valuable this game. We're just going to have to see. Please consign this. This killed you last game. You should be scared of it, right? Be scared. Be afraid. Consign this cookbook. Ah, they didn't take the bait. Thought about it for a decent chunk of time, though. They kept the card on top with Thundering Falls. I think I still have to suspend this Profane Tutor. Yeah, like they had a Mishra's Bauble, so they're going to be able to draw that anyway. Maybe not. I'm going to cast this Mox Opal, see if this resolves. Lay out this Urza Saga. Cast Codex Shredder. Ooh, consigning Codex Shredder, huh? All right, well, because I got a little bit greedy on that, that means Profane Tutor is not going to be able to hit the table this turn, or at least get suspended. I could have chosen to play Pithing Needle, but I don't really see any good targets right now. It's pretty much only hitting the backside of Reflection to Kiki Jiki anyway, though, I suppose. Preordain, huh? Surely they cast that. No? Holding open Consign to Memory again, huh? All right. Now, here's a question. Do I make the construct? Or do I just start casting cards? If I make the construct, then it would be vulnerable to Lightning Bolt. Oh, no, it wouldn't be vulnerable to Lightning Bolt. I have the Underworld Cookbook. What am I talking about? So this might just be a situation to where I don't need the Profane Tutor. Because if they bolt right now, then I'm just going to discard a card to this Underworld Cookbook, and I'm going to make it bigger. Ooh, no, they're just grabbing a Surveil land. Yeah, you got it. Left the card on top. That means that I am immediately taking it with Pyxis. I've got a 4/4 construct. Let's see what you have to say about that. They could have a Flame of Anor. No, just Preordain. They could still have a Flame of Anor. Surgical Extraction on Codex Shredder. You got it. You got it. I'll take it. That's fantastic. Card out of your hand. Thank you. Look at my entire deck. Take the 2 Codex Shredders out of it. All right, I just drew another Profane Tutor. Honestly, these are probably just going to be Underworld Cookbook food. Just going to grab Lantern of Insight here. And I'm going to start swinging. Dress down, huh? Yeah, that kind of sucks. Do I want them having this Stinkin' to Stupid? Maybe. Maybe I do. With Urza Saga on top of my deck, I think I do. Hero still has 2 unknown cards in hand, which kind of terrifies me. Or are they just tapping out for that big dumb dummy? Yes. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I can work with that. 1 counter spell, huh? Maybe my evaluation has changed. I can now take that counter spell out of their hand with this Duress. We can suspend Profane Tutor. I'm going to be taking 10. I'm going to be taking a lot of freaking damage here. Maybe I need stuff happening faster than this. I think I am going to exile here. Don't want them having a counterspell. Really don't want them having a Flame of Anor. And if I had suspended Profane Tutor earlier, like if I hadn't gotten greedy on turn 2, I would have an Ensnaring Bridge in hand right now, or maybe even in play, and I would not be dying to this Slasher. I'm at 13. I am taking 8. I'm falling to 5. Need that Flame of Anor to not be on top of their deck. I have to dress down. I'm dead. I am dead here. It's because a Profane Tutor didn't come off of Suspend fast enough, and it's because I didn't suspend it at the right time. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll just go ahead and Thoughtseize myself. That's game. 1 bad decision. I got greedy with the Mox Opal in turn 2. I had the opportunity to suspend a Profane Tutor on turn 2 and just do it safely, but I wanted to curve out. I wanted to go Shredder into Cookbook, into Opal, and then suspend Profane Tutor off of Opal. And that didn't work because the hero was able to just mildly disrupt it. Consign on a Codex Shredder, but it was what was necessary because his Mox Opal didn't get Metalcraft. Like, I guess I could have possibly discarded a card, and I had this Pithing Needle rotting in hand all game. So maybe that was another small decision that I made that was wrong. But if I had suspended Profane Tutor on turn 2, it is turn 6 right now. I probably would have been okay. Let's go ahead and play out match 5. Okay, 5th and final match. I always play these out all the way. I'm going to play it out all the way. I could drop and it would make no difference, but I'm going to play it out all the way. I am on the draw here, match 5 versus HugoVenda. I am going to keep this hand. It is effectively a 4-land hand, but these 3 cards are very good. And Urza Saga is also very good. Oh my god. It's Lantern Control versus Lantern Control. This is what y'all came here to see. Well, discard is critically important. Lantern Control mirrors come down to who has more mill rocks. Oh my god. Yeah, I think... Bill, is this you? Is this the Lantern Insights channel? Who recently released a 5-0 list, going 5-0, by the way, getting perfects in a league in Modern with a mono blue Lantern list. I think this might be you, Lantern Insights YouTube channel, who all of my viewers should go check out and subscribe to right now. Oh, it's not you? You're in chat right now? Well, someone named HugoVenda has decided to take your list into the Modern leagues, and they just randomly paired against me. So it looks like they activated it targeting me, which is interesting. That's not usually the desired way to use Mishra's Bauble. Usually you want to target yourself. They've got Metallic Rebuke, Island Metallic Rebuke in hand right now. So 2 counter spells. I am going to suspend Profane Tutor. I'm not going to be playing this nonsense. Now it looks like Hugo is milling me. This is almost certainly correct to do. In the olden days, you had Academy Ruins and stuff that could kind of make this sort of gameplay like worse. But these days, it's kind of all about deck size, right? And I am in a little bit of a tricky situation here. I can probably negate their sort of like Lantern-esque game plan, but the constructs are coming down, and I need to be aware of that. I'm gonna make my construct in response to the Urza Saga here. Let's see if they fetch a Lantern of Insight. They did. Now, I have a Profane Tutor on Suspend right now. I could go double discard into Ensnaring Bridge and still have Urza Saga left over to find something. And I actually think I will. Yeah, Pyroclasm is completely useless here. Now, here's a question. Do I want to grab Pithing Needle or do I want to grab Pyxis? I might actually want to grab Codex Shredder to make it so that the hero cannot Pithing Needle me and name my Pyxis and then keep their Shredder around. I am going to Inquisition them right now off this Mox Opal before anything else happens to it. Wow, it's triple Metallic Rebuke? Are you kidding? That's just ludicrous. That's insane. Well, I am going to cast an Ensnaring Bridge into Metallic Rebuke. I kind of have to here. Triple Metallic Rebuke. Who could have played around that? They're milling my Ensnaring Bridge. I am on blocking duty. Well, I'm going to Thoughtseize your last Metallic Rebuke here. Upkeep mill you. Upkeep milling me. All right, basic island. And it doesn't actually really matter here. Like, I'm kind of just dead on board regardless. I'm going to go ahead and block. I need something good. That's not something good. I am deterministically dead here. Oh, man. I don't really know what I was supposed to do about triple Metallic Rebuke, honestly. Like, I could have Inquisitioned their Metallic Rebuke to start out with, and I could have burned through all of their Metallic Rebukes, but then they would have just Lantern locked me. And I would have had to get extremely, extremely, extremely lucky after that. I guess I had this Fomori Vault, so I might have been able to handle a Lantern lock. So that might have actually been a mistake there. I didn't let them out-Lantern me, but I sure did let them out-Construct me. Now, here is an interesting situation. Do I want Blood Moons? It's possible I want Blood Moons. Pyroclasm's out, Torpor Orbs out, Lightning Bolts out. Molten Collapses come in, Pithing Needle comes in. Soul Guide Lantern, I believe build list ran Academy Ruins. I might want Soul Guide Lantern, I might not. I certainly don't want Grafdigger's Cage. I am going to board out 3 Lantern of Insight. I'm bringing in 2 Duress. Might board out the Underworld Cookbook here. Ensnaring Bridge, I might actually leave in the deck. I'm boarding out a lot of stuff. I don't want 4 Lantern of Insights in the deck because Lantern is actively a bad card when you are like behind. And the hero can Pithing Needle Lantern of Insight and force it to stay in play while they use their mill rocks without having to fetch a Lantern. But I still want 1 just in case. I think I want the Blood Moons. And if I'm doing all this work, maybe I'm going to keep Lightning Bolts in. So I'm siding out Torpor Orbs, Pyroclasms, Grafdigger's Cage, Lantern of Insight, the Underworld Cookbook. I'm bringing in my additional discard, Blood Moon, Pithing Needle, and Molten Collapse. I am not going to lie to you. I did not build my sideboard with a mapping for the Lantern Mirror. Like, I'm sorry. I just didn't do it. But here we are, I guess. Playing the Lantern Control Mirror. I will keep this hand. This might look insane to you, but this is the Lantern Control Mirror. Everything is off the table. Kind of just have to keep hands that look like that. I found Blood Moon. Blood Moon will shut off Urza Saga. That's why Blood Moon is valuable. I am going to Duress you. That's funny. They have Harbinger of the Seas. Interesting. I think I can take Lantern out of this hand. I can play Blightstep Pathway. I can Thoughtseize them. And I think out of this hand here, I am actually going to take the Emery. And that leaves them with what? Harbinger of the Seas that can be got by this Blood Moon. And yeah, the hero is confirming that they saw the Lantern Insights 5.0 video and they were like, you know, I want to play that. So here they are, they're playing it. Oh boy, that's a Pithing Needle as their last unknown card in hand. I think I'm just going to have to let that go. Soul Guide Lantern, I don't remember if I sided that in or not, but that's actually a pretty decent hit, I think. They've got double Harbinger of the Seas and a Whir of Invention. I'm going to play this on black and not cast Blood Moon because I am stupid. I played it on black and not red. Come on. One bad decision is all it takes. All right, they found a Mox Opal, which means that they can get Harbinger of the Seas down. Blood Moon wasn't stopping that anyway. Right. Now I can't even cast Blood Moon. All right, Harbinger of the Seas is down. If I find a land next turn, then I can pop Codex Shredder and I can get back Ensnaring Bridge, which is going to help. And I did. So that's what I'm going to do. I hate to say it, y'all, but I think I'm getting out lanterned here. I think it's happening. I can't believe I played the Light Step Pathway on the wrong side. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just go ahead and... oh, they found Emery, huh? Yeah, that is way worse for me. I can't handle this Emery. Oh, I can handle the Emery because I can just Lightning Bolt, but I can't Lightning Bolt it because I don't have a red source. Because Mox Opal is turned off. And in fact, I'm actually going to start taking damage now because I can't cast these cards. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Any artifact, please. Any artifact. No, they got Codex Shredder now. They know what they're doing. Still not attacking with Harbinger of the Seas, though. That's a little bit of a punt. I'm going to take full advantage of it. Yeah, no, they know what they're doing. Yep, here come the Harbingers. Just kind of let them figure it out here. The game is over at this point. Like, I hope y'all understand that at this point, the game is over. It was over the second that they used Codex Shredder to grab Emery out of their graveyard. But I am still playing it out. I'm going to give the hero the satisfaction of the win here. Ooh, yeah, Whir of Invention, Witchbane Orb. I've only got one more draw left before I die. So I'm going to draw this Urza Saga, and I'm going to go down with the ship. HugoVenda, you have deserved this win. All right, and that's all that I could do. I'm going to have a little bit of a conversation with my opponent here, and I am going to move on to wrap up. So yeah, 0-5 is a pretty embarrassing result, but I am going to still put this up on the channel because I believe that y'all deserve to see how I do, regardless of if it's good or bad. And also because I think this is a really good teaching moment for everyone watching and for myself, actually. So, small decisions, tiny, minuscule decisions that might not matter in other decks, matter in Lantern Control. Match 1, Game 3. I didn't bolt the 3-power creature, I bolted the 1-power creature. That cost me a lot of time that I really needed to get the lock reestablished. Match 2, Game 1. I got Codex Shredder off of Urza Saga. I did not get Pyxis of Pandemonium. I did not play around Worldbreaker being in their deck, and it just so happened to not only be in their deck, but it was their top card. I would have had to deal with a Kozilek's command after that, yes, but it's entirely possible that I would have been able to recover from that. Worldbreaker on top of the deck with Codex Shredder, it just didn't work. It just wasn't good enough. Affinity, Match 3, Game 1. I tapped Codex Shredder or Pyxis one time where I didn't actually need to. I only had one Pyxis in play. I didn't have any other rocks. And I was just like, yeah, I don't really want this card on top of my deck. Let me go ahead and get rid of it. And the hero just had 2 runners underneath. If I had been disciplined and kept my Pyxis up, then it would have been okay. Probably. Match 4 against Blue-Red Wizards. Game 3. I decided to curve out on turn 2. I was going to use the Mox Opal to suspend Profane Tutor when I could have just suspended it off of the lands that I had in play. The hero used a Consign to Memory on my Codex Shredder, the very card that was going to turn on the Mox Opal. On top of that, I did not just discard a card to the Underworld Cookbook to turn on the Mox Opal anyway. Instead, I held Pithing Needle in my hand. Pithing Needle rotted in my hand all game, and so did that Profane Tutor. I would have had my card off of Profane Tutor on turn 4. I lost on turn 6. And match 5 against Lantern Control, I kind of just got run over. Like, that happens sometimes. Like, I could have possibly played around triple Metallic Rebuke, but they had triple Metallic Rebuke, triple Counterspell. And if I had taken the Metallic Rebuke instead of the Codex Shredder on that first opportunity, then I would have just gotten run over with the Lantern Lock. So these are all excellent examples of how you need perfect play when you're playing Lantern Control. Maybe not perfect play, but dang near perfect play. Like, it needs to be very, very, very close to perfect. You can't just make a mistake and say, oh, dang, I cast my Ocelot Pride on turn 1 when I should have cast Guide of Souls on turn 1 or something like that. Oh, that's fine. Like, I'll just go ahead and catch up to it next turn. Like, that doesn't happen with this deck. You're going to make a mistake and you're going to lose the game because of it. So make sure that you get your reps in and make sure that you know what you're doing. Because if you're going to be like me and just kind of take game actions at random, apparently, then you're going to have a very bad time.
This program is made possible by your view, like, and comment, the support of my wife and son, and by contributions to Fatesteal MTG from viewers like you. Thank you.